My son's imaginary friend knew things he shouldn't. Now I think he was never imaginary. My son Caleb began talking to his imaginary friend, Mr. Mapes, when he was 3. Initially it seemed harmless, almost cute. He would set an extra place at the dinner table or pause to open doors for him. My wife and I laughed it off. That was until Mr. Mapes started knowing things. One night, as I was putting Caleb to bed, he looked up and said, "Daddy, Mr. Mapes says not to drive to work tomorrow. He says there's going to be a big crash." I chuckled, kissed him goodnight, and went downstairs. The next morning, I got a flat tire. Annoyed, I called in late and caught the news while waiting for a tow. There had been a multi-car pileup on my usual route. 6 dead. I stared at the screen, my coffee growing cold in my hand. I didn't tell my wife. From that point on, I paid closer attention. Caleb would drop little hints. "Mr. Mapes says the neighbors are moving soon. The Johnsons had just finished renovating. Why would they move?" 3 weeks later, they were gone overnight. A for sale sign appeared, and there was no goodbye. "Mr. Mapes says the cat's sick." Our cat Pickles seemed fine, until 2 days later when she stopped eating and had to be put down. Still, I tried to rationalize it. Kids are perceptive. Maybe Caleb picked up on subtle cues. Then things took a darker turn. Caleb changed. He stopped wanting to play outside. He whispered to empty rooms and woke up screaming. One night I found him sleepwalking in the hallway, facing the wall. "What are you doing, buddy?" I asked, trying to stay calm. He turned, his eyes wide and glassy. "Mr. Mapes says you shouldn't go in the basement anymore." I hadn't mentioned the basement in weeks. I'd been using it to store old furniture untouched since my dad passed and left me his things. I asked Caleb why. He simply said, "He doesn't like what's down there, says it smells wrong." I went down there. I wish I hadn't. At first, it was just musty. Then the smell hit me. Rotting meat, something sour underneath. I searched every corner, and then I saw it. In the far corner behind the water heater, the concrete floor looked wrong, discolored and cracked in a circular pattern. It was as if something had been burned into it and then filled in. When I touched it, it felt warm. That night, I dreamed of fire. A room lit by red candles, my father chanting words I didn't recognize, a child screaming. I woke up drenched in sweat. The next morning, I called my mom. I asked if Dad had ever dabbled in occult practices. There was silence. Then she said, "Your father was a troubled man. There were things I chose not to see." I pressed for more, but she hung up. That night, Caleb came into our room trembling. He climbed into bed and whispered, "Mr. Mapes says he tried to keep it away, but it's too late now. It's awake." That's when the banging started. From the basement. 3 thuds, then scratching, then a low groaning noise that made my bones ache. I grabbed my bat and went downstairs. The air was thick and the smell was worse than ever. And then the floor cracked open, only for a second, just long enough for something wet and black to slither out and vanish into the shadows. I ran. We left that night. We never went back. We didn't even take our belongings. Caleb doesn't talk about Mr. Mapes anymore. Sometimes I hear him whispering at night, but when I ask, he says he's talking to the quiet man, who keeps him safe. But sometimes, just sometimes, I think I see shadows in the corners of our new house. Long ones. And last week, Caleb looked up at me and asked, "Daddy, what did you do to make Mr. Mapes so angry?" I didn't answer, because I don't know. But I'm afraid I'm about to find out.